Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here. We're talking about the ban list in this video. It's made to create balance and solve problems involving problem cards in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But sometimes it adds more chaos than it removes, and it leaves us players feeling dumbfounded, wondering just what the hell was Konami thinking anyway. With that said, I've decided to rank the ban list hits that left you face palming in the top 10 worst bans and limits the Yu-Gi-Oh! Hierarchy. Now just to clarify, I am only focusing on TCG list, and I am only listing cards that were either banned or restricted to one. Semi-limits and unlimits will have to be another video for another time. Number 10, Super Polymerization Ban, January 1st, 2015. Kicking off our list is a card that most people would agree was perfectly under control at limited status, considering only one deck at the time was using it, and even if you add heroes into the mix, that only gives you two. So when it was the lone card banned above much more game dominant cards such as Vanity's Emptiness or Fire Lake of the Burning Abyss, many Shadow players were crying foul, and I was a little confused. Number 9, Black Rose Dragon, limited to 1, September 1st, 2009. So this is right after Crimson Crisis was released and right around the time that Dark Strike Fighter and Synchro Cat tore the game a new asshole. So it actually did make perfect sense that Konami would go after the heavy hitters of the format, you know, limit them to one. Cards like Summoner Monk and Rescue Cat, Mind Control, Solemn Judgment, Cold Wave. Wait a minute. When was Black Rose Dragon ever in the class of those cards? Number 8, Spore Band, March 1st, 2012. Oh boy, we all remember this list, right? This is the one that came out right after Order of Chaos and completely torched Plant Synchro while conveniently ignoring Insectors and obviously the wind-up loop since they were quote-unquote too new. My biggest beef with Spore getting the axe is the fact that out of the big three plants, obviously itself, Lone Fire, and Glow Bulb, it was easily the weakest, so I didn't understand why it got the axe over a card like Lone Fire Blossom. Number 7, TG Stryker, limited to 1, March 1st, 2012. Continuing with probably the most infamous ban list ever in the TCG anyway, Konami randomly came down hard on TG Stun by limiting the deck's only good tuner. This made absolutely no sense considering in the TCG, the deck had only won 2 major tournaments and was never considered to be the best deck. People claim that it was because of the OCG's TG Agent deck, but that deck was mediocre at best. I've played against it. Number 6, Necrogardna, limited to 1, March 1st, 2010. For those of you who don't remember, this was right about the time that Lightsworn was tearing shit up with all of its key cards at 3. Combine this with the fact that Crush Card had just gotten banned and Teledad was pretty much axed and it wasn't standing in its way, it all kind of made sense for Lightsworn to be the best deck. What didn't make sense to me and left a bad taste in my mouth was that Lightsworn's much more powerful defensive card, Honest, was at 2 while this card was at 1. Number 5, Destiny Draw, limited to 1, March 1st, 2010. So there's a couple of things you guys have to understand here. First off, Konami had already killed Teledad and Malicious was already semi-limited, and then the much more watered down version of the deck, Skill Drain Dad, that Jeff Jones won a Shonen Jump with, it had pretty much immediately fallen off the end of the earth about a month later. So I'm convinced that Konami did this solely to discourage players from ever trying to build Destiny heroes again so that they could sell new product. Number 4, Blackwing Kalute, limited to 1, March 1st, 2011. And here it is. This is the epitome and the height of Konami's multiple year crusades to absolutely make Blackwings as shitty as possible because for the most part, the players just wouldn't stop playing the deck. Blackwings were always a really good deck for about the first 3 formats that they were legal, but did anybody ever look at Kalute and think, man, that card is just as good as Honest? Because that's what Konami was essentially saying when they did this move. This limit was purely based on the deck being too popular, not too powerful. Number 3, Breaker the Magical Warrior and Magician of Faith banned, March 1st, 2007. This is easily one of the most ridiculous things that they have ever done with the ban list. Like, pretty much out of any cards moving. I don't even think Konami knew what the hell they wanted to do when they banned these cards, and it's pretty evident considering they immediately brought both cards back into the game the very next format, but then in a stroke of even more randomness, you can look this shit up, they immediately rebanned the cards that they had unbanned the format after that. What the hell were they doing? Number 2, Injection Fairy Lily banned April 2004. So I was actually playing during the Legacy of Darkness days. That's the set that Injection Fairy Lily was released in, and I stopped after Invasion of Chaos, took a little break. So I can speak on this. Let me just be the first person to tell you that on no planet was Lily ever a top 10 card in the game. I say that specifically because on the very first ban list where Konami started forbidding cards, they banned Injection Fairy Lily. That is one of the 10 cards that they actually banned, which means that there was literally a time in this game's history where you could play Chaos Emperor Dragon but could not play Lily. Wrap your head around that shit. Honorable mentions include Drop Off, limited to 1, April 1st, 2016, and Protector of the Sanctuary, limited to 1, September 1st, 2004. And finally, number 1, Elemental Hail Stratos, banned, September 1st, 2013. I went with the general consensus on this one for one major reason. Timing is everything, and the timing of this didn't make a lick of sense. I still don't understand what their reasoning was. We were coming out of the Dragon Ruler spellbook format. Who the holy fuck was playing Heroes then? Because I can't find anybody except maybe a couple of kids at locals. Secondly, if you looked at what was coming out in the future sets, maybe Konami was trying to preemptively hit Stratos, but there wasn't anything coming. Heroes didn't get any relevant support for about a year and a half, so this one still has players like me scratching their heads today. So let me know what you guys think. Were there any other limits that just left you thinking, what the fuck, Konami? What the fuck? Or ban cards? Leave that in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always. Subscribing makes life happy.